Hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Andrew Pollard. I'm the COO of BRIX Real Estate Group, and I'm also one of the coaches here at BRIX Foundations. I still trade real estate. I sell about 35 to 45 homes per year, and I do a lot of that in the luxury space these days and commercial real estate too. So that's a bit about me. Today is a business foundations training I want to do, and that's real estate as a business. So one of the most important things you need to do if you're just starting out here is to set up your real estate business as a business. This is not an employee relationship. You are the CEO of your own business, and you need to have the background set up so that you can accelerate your growth and actually make a living in this business. So let's kick it off. Just super quick. Programs designed to turn agents into business owners. And that's this program in general. So you have the school group and you have these trainings, and we just want you to understand how to be a CEO of your real estate business. You need to build structure and systems, and you need accountability. If you're used to being an employee prior to this, you probably got accountability from a manager or from the company. The accountability falls on you now. You need to be accountable to yourself and keep yourself on track. We give accountability in these calls so that these next 90 days you can really accelerate your business. But after that, you need to look inward and understand that you need to put the time and the work in. So we're going to go over some scheduling of tasks in this course and the next training as well, just to make sure you stay on track for yourself. Most agents fail in this business, and that's honestly the hard truth. So 85% failure rate in the first 5 years. It's probably about 50% in the first 2 years. So like in the first 2 years, a lot of people just quit. They don't understand that this is a business when they're getting into it. They also don't understand how to run that business. They don't get enough support. So a lot of people fail. A lot of people have to go back and get jobs, and we don't want you to do that. Once you're working for yourself, it's very rewarding. You get paid for the time you put in. So if this is something you want to do and you want to be an entrepreneur, we want to make sure you can. So a lot of agents fail because they have no clear target. And I get this a lot. I've talked to a lot of agents on the phone, doing interviews, talking about the business, and I ask them how much they want to make, and they can't answer this question. If you can't answer the question of how much you need to make or want to make this year, don't bother. Like, there's no point. You don't have a goal at all. So like replace the income you were making. How much are you making now? Is that 80,000, 90,000, 100, 150,000, 200,000? If you're making a specific amount, you have a certain lifestyle, you need to maintain that at least, I would think, and then grow that lifestyle preferably. So start with that. I want to make X amount, 150,000. Perfect. From there, as I'll show you, we can reverse engineer what you need to do. So most people don't have a clear income target. Most people don't have a daily schedule, and then there's no tracking or systems. So the big mistake a lot of people do getting into this business is like, oh, okay, I can do whatever I want. I'm gonna go golfing this morning, and then I'll do some work this afternoon. Maybe I'll work tomorrow. Maybe I'll just take a day off and take the kids somewhere. You still need a schedule. You can work the schedule around your life a little easier than, let's say, a normal 9 to 5 job, but you still need a schedule. Otherwise, you will not complete the tasks you need to complete. A lot of people get into this business too, thinking, okay, this is going to be easy to make $200,000, $300,000 a year. Making $300,000 a year is never easy. You need to work really hard for that. That's just a point of life. So whether you're a real estate agent or a VP at a company, you need to work a lot of hours. Nobody's paying you 300 or 400 grand a year for working 5 hours a week. Like, it's not going to happen. So understand that the time you put in is going to be the money back out, but you still need to put that time in. Easiest way to start with your planning is just with a 1-3-5 plan. So a lot of agents that have been with us, either in the BRIX program or a Real Broker for years now, have done a lot of these plans, and they really help just set your year. So if you've come from corporate and you have these like really elaborate year-long plans, like you don't need to get that in depth. You just need a target, and you need to know exactly how you're going to keep yourself on track as you get that target. So the 1-3-5 plan works really well. So you have your income goal, In this case, we can break it down by transactions. You have your If you know how many transactions you need to make that amount of money on average, you can break down how many conversations you need. And then conversations, you need daily activities to get those conversations. So the 135 plan gives you buckets so that you can kind of stay on track to reach your ultimate goal, which is selling X amount of properties. So 135 plan looks like this. You can get the resource in the lesson, the recording. So if you need to download a copy of this, I have it in the school.com group. If you just go to the recording of this training, it's also in the business 101 section when you start in the school.com program. So you will find this in there. And basically, it's going to be your main income goal. So I want to sell X amount of properties this year. 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever it is, that's your goal. 3 priorities to reach that goal. So you're going to need lead generation. You will need a social media content aspect so that people know who you are. You might need a community aspect of that. You're probably going to need some training and keep yourself on track. And that's another big mistake people make is they don't keep learning as they try to grow in this business. So you need to put your priorities to achieve that goal in that top second line, sorry, in those 3 buckets. Below there is your strategies to reach that goal. So if you're generating a lot of leads, how are you going to generate leads? Well, I'm going to do 2 open houses a week. I'm going to run a new Google ad campaign every month. I'm going to do 1 community event every 2 months. These are your strategies in that 5 strategy bucket to reach that lead generation bucket. I need to generate this many leads. In order to do that, I need to put in these activities as I go. So that's how you can break it down. There's template you can grab. There's examples in school as well. Once you have this, you'll really be able to push your year and understand what you're doing right and wrong. Because if you go back to this and you're like, I wanted to sell 20 properties a year, but I didn't do 2 open houses a week and I didn't generate online leads and I stopped paying for them and I didn't refresh my pages, and you'll see why you did not sell those. It's very clear. So keep it simple, but important to have a plan. All right, if you're a new agent, you need income target math. So I really recommend reading Ninja Selling if you have not read that already. It does break down the math really in depth for you. So read Ninja Selling, grab it. It's a quick read. You can throw it on an audio story. It comes with a bunch of workbooks you can pull offline too. So use that as a good resource of like all your math. But I want to give you kind of the basic structure here on how many conversations you need to sell a house, which is what we're trying to do. So you need to understand in your market what your average sale price is. Now, you can pull the average stats from your real estate board. So you'll know the average sale price. And then we can say, okay, if the average sale price is this and the average commission is this, I should make this amount per deal on average. Now, a lot of people starting out, especially in the past, would be like, "Oh, I'm going to sell a bunch of condos and low end stuff." These days, in most major cities, the prices are pretty good. So you actually are going to make a reasonable amount per transaction, but base it on the average for your area. So in the Calgary area, the average sale price is about $600,000 or just under across all types. So I'm just basing this math today and this slide on $10,000 average commission. So that's gonna be somewhere a sale price around 550,000 if you're getting paid on the usual, which is 3.5% your first 100,000, 1.5% your balance of purchase or sale price. So I'm using 10,000. It's a nice round number, but go get that average sale price. Commissions do vary depending on area and especially in province. So break it down for your spot so you have the actual number of what you think your average will be. Conversations per transaction. This is pretty much bang on. It's been tested, tried, true. You'll see it in things like Ninja Selling. You're going to see it in a lot of resources. We can use this number as a pretty good baseline no matter what. And that's, you need 50 meaningful conversations before you sell one house. So if you base this on 50 conversations to sell one home, you can draw out all the rest of your numbers very easily. I need to talk to this many people. I need to engage this many people to have 50 conversations. And once I have 50 conversations, I will sell one home. Use this number and then track your conversations. That is the key. So if we want to sell 10 homes, we need to talk to we need to have 500 conversations, right? So this is 50 meaningful conversations. And that is going to be anything about, that's engaged with the person you're talking to. So it could be about their family, about their work, about their hobbies, but something engaged with that person so that you have a meaningful conversation. It does not need to be about real estate. Real estate will come from your meaningful conversations. You need meaningful conversations. So if you know somebody and you're like, let's go have a coffee, and you sit there and talk for 30 minutes, you had a good, meaningful conversation. That's going to lead you to business down the road. So meaningful conversations do not need to be about real estate, but they need to have in-depth engagement from the person you're talking to. They can't just be like, oh, hey, have a good day. So 50 meaningful conversations per transaction. So if you could do that every single week, then you will start selling 4 houses a month. Meaningful conversations lead to transactions, but they can take time. So you can't exactly say when you're going to start selling them, but I will guarantee you if you had 50 meaningful conversations every single week, you will, after a year or two, be selling 4 houses a month. It's that simple. 99% of agents cannot do that, or they don't know how to do that, and they don't go find out how to do that. So 50 conversations per house, that's the key. Now, you're going to say, how am I going to have those conversations? How am I going to meet that many people? That's where you have to decide where your leads are coming from. So your business can come from a lot of places. It can come from your sphere, it can come from meeting people on the street, it can come from meeting people at events. So you need to break down where your business is going to come from. And this is not the same for every single person. A lot of you are going to jump on online leads and say, this is the way to go. And I'm just going to get 100 leads a month and I'm going to call them all and make conversations and nurture them. A lot of you are probably sitting here saying, that sounds terrible. There's going to be people out there that are going to go door knock. I have multiple agents with me that door knock all the time. One of them door knocks 300 doors a month. That's how he gets all of his business. He does post on social media and does open houses to make sure he has more leads coming in. But the majority of his business is because he's out door knocking all the time, meeting people, dropping off letters, introducing himself, and then getting listing appointments. And getting listings is key. So that's a really good activity. There's probably a lot of people listening to this that say that sounds terrible too. And it's winter here, 8 months a year. So it's not every way has to be for everyone, but you need to understand where your business is coming from and nurture those buckets. So your SOI, your sphere of influence, existing database, or if you're growing a database with online leads, that's a good source of income. Now, one of my favorite sayings, and I think this holds true, is that your clients will become friends before your friends will become clients. A lot of friends and family aren't going to trust you if you're a new agent. But even past that, it's a very personal process selling somebody's home. You're going through their stuff, you're in their closets, you're going through their house, like you know their financials. It's very personal. So don't count that your friends will necessarily be your clients all the time or your family, but they will be a good referral source even if they don't become your clients. If you show them the knowledge you're gaining, show them what you've been doing, they will refer you out. So my parents didn't think it was a good idea for me to get into real estate, and they didn't trust any of it, and they've had bad realtor experiences. After a few years, I showed them what we do and show them that I'm successful doing this and the types of homes we're selling and the videos we're making and how happy our clients are and all that stuff. Now they refer me to everybody. So people will come around, but not necessarily selling their house. So just keep that in mind with sphere of influence. Let them know what you're doing. Don't just always ask them for business. Your database will grow. So whether that's from your SOI or from adding leads, that database, you can always nurture it. So it's not like you always have to have 100 leads a month coming in. At some point, you might have a database of 10,000 people. Well, there's 100 deals a year in there. So you can farm that. So database, SOI. Social media, it is 2026. You need to be on social media. You need to embrace that. You need to use social to help you with your time. You can reach millions of people on social media. It would take you your entire life to door knock all of Calgary. So use social media to your advantage, and you need to know that people need to know that you're out there. So you need to show them in the post what you're doing, what you're interested in, how you can help them, give them value. You need to show them in stories that you exist and you're around and you're active. This needs to be part of your business. If you're not on social now, we have some really good resources in the course, but also we as a group at Real Broker and everybody using the BRIX operating system, like we post a lot. So follow people, see what we're doing. You're gonna see kind of how you can mend that to your needs and desires. You don't have to do the exact same thing, but you need to be present online because 95% of people, when they go look for a house right now, or I think it's 98%, are going to go to the computer and say, I want to find a house here. And if you're posting about that, they're more likely to find you. And then if people find you or if they talk to you, they're going to go look you up online. And if you don't have anything to back that up, you're not going to win that relationship. So standard practice right now, if I'm in a listing appointment or working on development with a developer, they will go back check everything I said online. So if I did not have 1,000 posts on Meta and 1,000 posts on LinkedIn and proof of sold of all proof of sales and all these things I've done and providing value for the community, they're just gonna go to the next agent who does. So you need to build social media. Online paid ads, I like them. You need to be smart with them. There's a lot of companies out there that are going to try to take your money, like thousands of dollars a month. Not necessary. You can hire someone to build landing pages and ads for you. You can learn very quickly how to build some ads for yourself. You can use free resources like Facebook Marketplace. There's a bunch of ways to get online ads, but online leads, but online paid leads are good. Just be smart about it. Like for $750 a month, you should have decent lead flow. You do not need to pay some company to manage a bunch of things in the back end. Get yourself a CRM, get landing pages hooked up to it, use somebody online to set things up for you so you have proper lead flow, and then it's going to come right into your CRM. You can adjust your ad spend as you go. You can change your landing pages every 2 months. This is not difficult things. You can hire people for cheap to set it up, and then you can just run it. So hiring a management company that's spending 2 grand a month as a new agent is probably going to be too much, and it's not necessary. So the other thing with online leads is you need to get into a flow with them. They're going to come in fast sometimes. You need to be on it right away. You need to call people right away. And if you find you're not doing that, you're just wasting ad spend. So feel that one out for yourself. But if you have time when you're starting out, which most people do, it's good to get online lead flow going for the area that you want to concentrate on and build your database out. A lot of online leads will be 6 to 9 months, but even more of them will be 1 year plus before they transact. So it's good to build that database up, farm it, nurture it, and everything will come back around for you. Uh, but depending on the time of year, you like coming into spring, January, February, you will have hot leads come in that you can close. So it's not like you can't, but most of them will be 6, 9, 12 months out or more. So keep that in mind too. Open houses is the best way to find hot buyers right now in your market. Call agents at your brokerage, reach out to us if you need opportunities, find open houses in the area that you want to work in, and then you will find hot buyers that come there. So if you don't have listings yet, if you're just starting out, you can call agents at your brokerage and ask them if you can do their open houses. Once you do that, if you can get a good flow of 1 or 2 open houses a week, you will pick up hot buyers, I promise you. That's where buyers are coming, and a lot of them don't have agents when they come in. So that's a good one. Local farming. I am a big proponent of staying hyper local when you're starting out. So stay in your community, you understand your community, you maybe like where you live. It doesn't need to be your exact neighborhood. If your neighborhood's not big enough or you don't like the price points in your neighborhood, nobody's saying you can't go a couple neighborhoods over. But overall, try to stay in one area that you're farming because then you can go to community events. You can be a part of, maybe you're part of church events, maybe you're part of the hockey community, and parents and kids, whatever it is, or you go to the dog park all the time, but staying local and farming your area will help you expand faster because people will trust you. And if your area is big enough, like there's enough sales in your area, you can easily take 10 or 20% of that in the first 18 months. And that should be enough homes for you to at least make a living. And then, you'll have spillover business from there. So stay local, be present in the community, go to events, sponsor events later on. But even just attending events, you can wear a shirt with your brand on it. You can hand out business cards at things like be part of stuff, volunteer, just be a part of the community because people will see you all the time. Then they'll trust you to sell their home. Referrals and partnerships. Again, this can go back to online presence. You can get referrals from other agents within your brokerage, getting referrals from other parts of Canada or US, wherever people are moving in from. If you are in a spot we have good migration, like Alberta right now, there's a lot of people in Ontario, BC that are willing to send referrals in, and you can refer people out to the other way, which is nice. Partnerships are great. So partnering with businesses, um, partnering with other agents to work on things together, like anything you can do to expand your reach through partnerships is a really good focus, and you'll get more leads from it too. So here's just some buckets, but you need to decide what you're going to focus on and try to focus your energy on like three of them, and then you won't get too spread too thin at the start. Mhm. All right, daily framework. As a new agent, you need to do some sort of lead generation. We just went over a bunch of ways you can do it. So that's non-negotiable. You need to know how you're going to generate them, and then you just schedule your day for all of your money-making tasks, which when you're starting out is mostly going to be some sort of lead generation, and then you will need to go understand the product in your area. So when you're tired of, let's say, working the computer or you did a bunch of open houses this weekend, you can go tour some properties. This will lead to a money making opportunity. There's lots of money making tasks that might not seem right away, but make sure you're working on something that's either expanding your knowledge or generating leads for you. And then though once those two buckets are covered and you're gonna have leads coming in and you've gained some knowledge, well now you'll be working on the appointment client side of things. So that's your focus. Just make sure you block the time you need to work on the business parts. So this is just an example. I always hated morning lead follow up. I usually do it like more midday, to tell you the truth, or late in the afternoon, but it just depends what you like to do. So, morning lead follow up, you could do a lead generation block 3 times a week. Make sure you have time set aside that you're going to do your client appointments. Make sure you have time set aside you're going to work on your marketing or content. That's need both. If you're sending out mailers, you need time to design those. If you're going to be shooting a video, you need time to shoot the video, you need time to plan the post. So give yourself marketing time. It's very important. Try not to consume social media when you should be producing social media. So get your posts out, comment on a few things, and go about your other money making activities. You need admin tasks. So the first couple of years, most people aren't going to have any admin support. You're going to need time to file your paperwork, stay compliant when you do transactions. Make sure you understand that this can take hours of your week away. And do not stop learning. We have 2 calls a week here, and I know you have access to this for a year, but like after that, keep learning other things. There are tons of great podcasts. There are a ton of conferences for real estate agents locally and more broad ones. Stay up to date with learning with your local real estate board, and stay up to date learning, trends in building, who's building what the prices are, why something's worth what it is. Stay on top of all that. You need to learn so that you can help your clients properly. All right, CRM. This is a must. And don't let anybody talk to you about, oh, just, well, it's okay. You can have an Excel spreadsheet when you start. Don't just, there's no point. You're wasting time. It's 2026. Like I said, social media is important. Also, using the tools that are available to you, including AI tools to follow up with people, also important, unless you want to spend your entire day managing an Excel spreadsheet. So, no Excel spreadsheets. If you aren't fully licensed yet and you want to start building your SOI database, get an Excel spreadsheet, throw everybody's name, phone number, and email in there, and put your relationship to them. Start building that right now. And then once you're licensed and you get your CRM started, you can upload to your CRM. But don't continue on year, 2 year, 3 years without a CRM. There's no point. We're talking, $40 to $60 a month business expense to run a decent CRM, and then you have all the tools for follow up. So these are a must, and get everybody in there. And even if you aren't licensed, you could go get most of these CRMs going. The only thing is, your brokerage that you join will most likely have one or two or three partners where you get a better deal. So that's why I say maybe just build this Excel sheet right now, and then once you're ready to go, find the CRM you want and get everything uploaded in there. With AI tools, it's not super time sensitive, like I said, to always be in there now. You can set everything to automatically follow up with people, and then you can drop things like videos and follow up with your database too. So there's a lot of good things you can interact with it. Key when you're starting though is stay organized, and then you can stay organized as you go. Because if you start doing online lead gen and you start getting 100 leads a month, you need to stay organized. Otherwise, the database becomes a mess. Trust me. So set up good pipeline stages. You can keep it pretty simple at the start. So like new lead, contacted, appointment set, hot, nurture, under contract, closed. That's a good example. It doesn't need to be that, but make it simple, but also make it so you can move people along the line. So if you're going to have new leads coming in, whether it's online from events, sponsorships, anything, a new lead, you want them in new lead. If you've talked to them already, you want to know that you've talked to them, and then you can target campaigns based on the stage your leads are at as well. So that's a nice part. If they're hot, you need to know they're hot. That's where you're concentrating on your daily activity. I need to follow up with these hot leads, see if we're going on showing, see if they need anything. Nurture your long-term stuff. You can drop, make sure you have campaigns going out, email campaigns, video campaigns, that kind of thing. And then you need to know who's closed, because you're going to want a follow-up campaign for your closed clients so that you get referrals and, stay in touch with them. So make sure those categories are captured, but you can kind of name them what you need to. So here's just an example. Attempting contact hasn't responded. So these we used to move, like if we'd never heard from them in 12 attempts, we just throw them here so we kind of understand. Like we'll try to drop some email stuff in there. Contacted, appointment set, appointment met, under contract, closed. So we also had like we played around with less than 60 days, more than 60 days, hot, nurture, whatever, but make sure you stay organized and make sure it makes sense to you. Tracking. So we just went over a lot of things you need to start doing to set up your business, but if you don't track anything, you're not going to know how you're doing. So if you're not tracking, you will not stay consistent. You need to set future goals. So if you set that 1-3-5 plan for year one, and then you track your conversations, your appointments, your contracts, then at the end of the year, you can see if you made that goal or not and see where you're lacking. Now you can make next year's goal. So like, yes, I sold 10 properties my first year. That's how I wanted to move. I made 100 grand. Great. Because I hit all these goals. All right. It took me 500 conversations to sell the 10 properties. That was consistent. It also took me, I made 2 posts a week and grew my following online to this amount, and that helped me. Okay, what do I want to do next year? Well, next year I want to do 20 transactions, so now I need to double all my output. So it's that easy. If you don't track it, you don't know how to get to 20. So track it from the start. This makes it easier. We have trackers in school.com you could use, or just make one up. It doesn't matter, but track your stuff. Like this could be an Excel spreadsheet if you want. We have used, when we used to run a team, we had tons of different resources and programs to use and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter as long as you know the numbers. And the nice part though, with some of the programs we used to use is we always knew our numbers. And we knew it took this many listing appointments to get this many listings sold because we tracked everything and the agents tracked their conversations and we could see like, oh, I only had 10 conversations this week and I had no appointments. Yeah, because you didn't talk to enough people. You didn't talk to 10 people a day. So track everything properly. You want to see the flow from conversation, appointment, contract. And you want to see all that. So I talked to this many, had these many conversations. I set 2 appointments per week from those conversations, and that led to selling 15 properties this year. You need to know that. If you don't know that, you will spiral. I mostly talk to agents a year or two in that are still only selling 6 properties a year because they don't understand what they need to do to sell 15 properties a year. And that's what we're talking 15, 20 sales a year. You could be making $200,000. And the average agent in Calgary Real Estate Board last year sold one property. They don't have systems, they're not tracking anything, they don't understand how to scale their business. If you're watching this right now, we're giving you the sauce to scale your business in this course. We're also doing it in these trainings, and we have lots of resources to show you that because we've learned this along the way. And after a decade plus, we'd like to help people actually scale their business. If you're getting into this to sell enough properties to make money to replace the income you were getting paid from business or double or triple that, but you can triple what you made. Within 5 years, I was making 3 times what I ever got paid at a job. But if you can't put 5 years of tracking and hard work in, you're not going to see the results. So track everything you do. You need to understand what that projection is. Action plan. If you don't put this stuff into action, not going to help. So these are the basics on setting yourself up to understand the activities you need to do. We're going to deep dive into a bunch of the stuff I talked about as we go through on trainings, but I want you to have this as your baseline. So complete the plan, 135 business plan. Download that, complete it. Time block your schedule. I have trainings on scheduling. I'm actually doing one for our group this week as well that I'm recording this training. So I do a lot of this on scheduling. There's a lot of resources out there too, but you need a schedule, and the schedule needs to cover your entire life. The biggest mistake I see is that, and this is in general with entrepreneurs, and not just realtors, that don't have a schedule for their whole, like they're not blocking everything. So if your kids need to be dropped at school, that needs to be blocked. You can't take calls then. If your kids need to be picked up, that needs to be blocked. If you aren't responsible for that, there's probably times where you're going to want to, or there's times where you need to go to your child's activity, or you need to take them to hockey practice, or you need to be a parent. Make sure all that's blocked in. If you're not a parent, there's probably time that you want to do something for yourself too, whether you're a parent or not. You need to have everything blocked in. Gym time, this is what I'm doing. If you don't block all of your personal stuff either, it's not going to get done. And then you're going to feel flustered and you're not going to know what's a priority that day. So block everything, time block your weekly schedule. If you have a significant other, I highly recommend you share your calendars so that you're all on the same page. I have seen any business building rip so many relationships apart. And real estate, just like a lot of them, will do that to you if your partner does not understand what you are doing. So it's very easy to say, well, I'm a realtor, I don't have a schedule. You need a schedule. Schedule every day, and your partner will not resent you because they will know between 11 and 2, I am calling leads. That's it. So if I'm working at home, my door's closed. Or if I have an office, I'm at the office. That's it. I'm working. There's no like, oh, can you just do this? No. Time block, share it with your significant other. It will change your life if you're not doing that. Upload your database into your CRM. So if you got a phone, which I hope you do, take all your contacts, label them properly. You can upload that as a CSV file into the CRM once you have one. And then you have your whole sphere of influence in the CRM already. In my case, that would be like 1,200 contacts or something right off the bat. If you have a big sphere like that, if you have 600, 700 people, get them all in your CRM and start dripping them content, value-based stuff, market updates, let them know you're in real estate. Just get in front of their face. Like, so you're not being pushy at all, but if they're in the database, you can farm that and they're going to get you referrals and family and friends and all that too. Post your KPI targets. If you want us to hold you accountable, drop it in school on the board, say, this is what I want to do this year. We'll gladly keep you accountable. Find an accountability partner. I'd say preferably someone close to you, but it doesn't really matter where they are. Check in with them every week and say, hey, did you do your 50 calls this week? Did you do 2 open houses? How's your post doing? Do you want to film some content together? Have an accountability partner, but say what you're going to do and stick to it. Most people, when they post something for a group or in public, I'm going to call 100 people a week all year and sell 40 homes. Once you do that, you're much more inclined to actually do it. So tell us what you want to do. We'll help you achieve it. Post it in school. Get these actions done now. Like if you are a new agent, you have time. Sit down, do them, spend 4 or 5 hours, get everything set up. Then start working your plan. If you need us to review plans, post them on the board. If you don't feel comfortable with that, message us in the chat. Eric, Emily, or myself, be glad to review your 135 plan if you want. So you just message in the chat and send the document if you want. And if you feel comfortable posting on the public chat, we're happy to give feedback and everything too. It's a safe place. There's no wrong answer here. It's what you're going to do, and we'd love to see you succeed and actually hold you accountable. I hope that helps with your basic setup. Again, if you're not licensed yet, you can do all these activities right now. So go read Ninja Selling if you have not done that. Review this training, 50 conversations per house sold, break all that down, give yourself a 135 plan, figure out your CRM plan, and be ready to go as soon as you have your license. You have an SOI right now, so get that database ready. And you can start posting content now. Just don't give advice on real estate if you're not licensed, but you can post content. Not enough realtors do this, and I wish I had too, is post your story now. Say like, I'm getting into real estate because of this. And here's my experience with the course, and here's my experience with the exams. And this was good, this was bad, and this was scary. Like that's a good, people will connect with that from the start. And then they're gonna be really invested in how you do and really invested to see your wins when you post them too, and your losses. So it's good to post both. Next training, we're going to deep dive into systems and infrastructure, kind of build on this so that you understand how to work all these things and actually keep your business flowing. But these basics should have you off to a really good start. Drop your questions in the group chat, drop your questions on the board. The recording for this will be in school as well too. So review it as much as you need. Grab those resources, 135 plan. I'll have the link to Ninja Selling